Hi guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm doing Halloween Lost Media as it is the spooky season. So anyway, let's not waste any time and get right into the video. Das Phantom der Oper is a 1916 adaptation of the Phantom of the Opera. Released in 1916, it is considered to be the first movie adaptation of the famous Gaston Leroux novel of the same name. Made in Austria in 1916, the film was written and directed by Ernest Matre and starred Nils Olav Kristander as the Phantom and Odd E.G. Nissen as Christine. This adaptation, judging by vintage accounts, is relatively close to Leroux's novel, including scenes where the Phantom coerces Christine to marry him. The film does differ somewhat in some respects in relation to the finale. The water trap Raoul is placed into and is replaced by a small room that heats up like a furnace. In another deviation, unlike the novel, Christine does not accept the Phantom's love. Instead, Raoul and his male companion find a small opening in the trapped room, find Christine, and flee together. The boiler to the trap overheats and explodes, killing Eric in the blast, which differs from his much more peaceful death in the novel. The film was shown throughout Austria and the Netherlands from 1916 and 1917. It was then most likely returned to the studio, where it was either misplaced or destroyed. No stills or footage or even official imagery from the film have resurfaced. The only thing that we do have to show that this film existed was an Austrian trade ad, as I will display on the screen now. London After Midnight is a 1927 silent horror mystery film written by Todd Browning, who directed Dracula and Freaks, and starring Lon Chaney, known for his roles in The Hunchback of Notre Dame and The Phantom of the Opera. The film is an adaptation of the Hypheness written by Browning. As well, it is also one of the last major films to star Lon Chaney before his death on August 26, 1930. A remake of the film was produced by Browning in 1935 titled Mark of the Vampire, starring Bela Lugosi, who did Dracula. Here's the synopsis. Sir Roger Belfour, the head of a luxurious mansion, is found dead alongside a suicide note. Professor Edward Burke, played by Chaney, is placed in charge of investigating the incident. Sir James Hamlin, Belfour's neighbor, was the last to see him alive. Naturally, Burke questions him, and Belfour's butler, William Burke's questioning leads him to suspect Arthur Hibbs, Hamlin's nephew, to be the murderer. 5 years later, the mansion has become disappetited and is now the subject of El Omen. The mansion is now occupied by an eccentric old man who goes by the name Roger Belfour, and a ghostly woman renting from Hamlin. Professor Burke is once again drawn to the house to investigate stories of vampires residing within. Unbeknownst to the others, the man is actually Burke in disguise with the use of hypnosis and a fake setup of vampires. Burke tricks Hamlin into revealing that he was the one who murdered Sir Roger Belfour 5 years before. London After Midnight was shown at the Capitol in New York City on December 11th and ran for approximately 65 minutes. Variety criticized the actor for being mostly uninteresting and also predicted that the film would sell solely on Lon Chaney's name. Despite the critiques, the film was met with moderate success. Modern critics praised Chaney's makeup works as the creepy old man. This is also shown because it was used as Chaney's design for the vampire has been used to inspire many other characters, including in The Black Phone, which is a 2021 horror movie by Blumhouse Productions, and several other media, including Dracula. Despite the film's loss, Lon Chaney's appearances in the film has become a horror icon of its own right, influencing some portrayals of Dracula and other monsters, such as the Babadook in 2014. The only known copy of London After Midnight was in possession of MGM Studios. However, it was likely destroyed in an explosion. The Evening Vanguard, a local newspaper in Venice, California, reported on August 11th, 1965, that the day before there was an explosion on the MGM Lot 1, which resulted in the destruction of a concrete film storage. The concrete roof of the building collapsed in the ensuing fire. However, nobody is believed to have been killed or injured. Unfortunately, the Evening Vanguard states that no estimate of the loss was available. Before the Evening Vanguard article was discovered, it was then believed that the fire destroyed the print was on May 13th, 1967. In 2015, Tom Weaver on Topatalk forums reached out to Rudy Belmer, a man who was working on the MGM's property at the time, to ask if a fire did occur that day. Belmer claimed that on his way Lot 1 from Lot 2, he could hear an explosion, and that later a co-worker told him that there was an explosion. Belmer does, however, explain if May 13th, 1967 was a Saturday, it was highly unlikely that we wouldn't have been working there, and admits it certainly could have been 1965, and of course it could have been some other time. Recall that can be inaccurate. Did you know that Belmer's testimony combined with the Evening Vanguard's article allows us to comfortably place the destruction of the last known copy of London After Midnight on Tuesday, August 11th, 1965. It is noted by the investigation that MGM began making more of an effort to preserve its film around this time. Current status: it is firmly believed that the last complete copy of the film was destroyed by the fire in 1965. Countless nitrate frames, production stills, pieces, and of incidental material and a complete script have however survived. Any efforts to find a complete version of the film has proven to be unsuccessful. In 2002, TV channel Turner Classic Movies recreated a version of the film using original production stills, the original script, and a combination of the soundtrack. This one is mostly used on the Lon Chaney. This reconstruction is available on the Lon Chaney Collection DVD set, which comprises of all the films that Chaney did that have survived and also have surviving clips. The Television Ghost is an early American horror anthology series that ran on W2XAB TV affiliate between 1931 and 1933. The TV show was essentially about a ghost telling the story of how they were murdered, but the ghost was always played by musician and actor George Kelting. The episode, it aired from August 1931 to 1933, after it was abruptly ended due to economic turmoil of the Great Depression. Due to the technical limitations of the time, no recording has surfaced, and most likely it makes it permanently lost. And many people who actually stated that, who owned a television at the time, had stated that that it was that the screen was so incredibly dim that you could barely see it. It was also aired on radio shows. It was also compared to a radio show mainly because it was only just a continuous shot of Kelting's head and shoulders. It was also aired on the radio on ABC between this time. However, like with the TV show, it no longer exists, as this was also before radio broadcasts began to be regularly preserved. Dead of Night was a BBC horror anthology series that ran for a single season in 1972. The episodes consisted of 50-minute teleplays for each episode, each centering around a different story. Due to the BBC's extremely strict wiping policy, out of the 7 episodes that were recorded, only 3 survive. Those are The Exorcism, Return Flight, and A Woman Sobbing, with all black and white film recordings as well as videotape recordings of Bedtime, Death Cancels All Debts, Smith, and 2 in the Morning are considered to be lost as of early 1972. An 8th episode that was aired alone, that was made by the Dead of Night production crew, The Stone Tape, was originally meant to be the 8th episode. However, instead it was aired as a single 1-minute, 90-minute teleplay on Christmas Day of 1972, which has led many people to believe over the years that the episode has fallen under a Ghost Story for Christmas banner. In 2013, the BFI released a DVD set containing the surviving episodes as well as the Stone Tape, as well as bonus features including picture galleries, downloadable scripts for the missing episodes, and PDF materials. So yeah, moving on. Halloween is a 1978 horror film that I'm pretty sure all of us know how it is. It's about a mass killer named Michael Myers running around killing people every Halloween. The film that we have was very similar, however, the original's test screening had a different ending. As in the original ending of the movie, Michael was going to end by killing one of the characters by telling him to die. However, after this, the directors realized that they wanted to keep Michael as a silent character, so thus they removed the scene and replaced it with him just killing him without him talking. As of today, this scene has never been released on any form of Halloween home media. As no VHS, no DVD, or streaming service has had it released as a bonus feature. In 1982, Tim Burton released one of his first short films for Disney, that being a spin on a classic fairy tale, Hansel and Gretel. In this one, it takes many of Burton's twisted and weird ideas and turns it into this. This was one of his first films they made for Disney, and one of his first that was actually critically appraised, as it basically follows the same plot. However, several things are changed, including instead of the father being a woodsman, he is a toy maker, as well as having the cast be Asian. For many years, this special only aired once in 1982 for Disney's Halloween Night, as well as another Tim Burton short called Vincent, which was narrated by Vincent Price. For many years, Vincent was available, but this one was completely missing. As of today, however, in 2009, a copy was found for a Tim Burton exhibition, and then in 2014, it was uploaded to YouTube, with a higher quality version being found and uploaded to the Internet Archive in 2021. The Collector is a 2009 horror movie about a man who turns his house into a giant wooden death trap for anyone who comes in. The film was followed up by a very successful sequel called The Collection in 2012. In 2019, the same producers of the first two films were working on a third film called The Collected. Would have had Jon Stewart and Emma Fitzpatrick returning for their roles, as well as Tom Atkins as Arkin's father. However, in a bizarre twist, the film was shut down after 8 days of production, and then the producers stole all the footage. As of today, none of the footage that was filmed for The Collected has been released, and most likely, The Collected is not going to be finished, and is most likely not going to see the light of day. Five Nights at Freddy's was a 2023 horror movie starring Josh Hutcherson and Matthew Lillard. As I'm pretty sure everyone here is familiar with the game, I won't go over the plot. If you want to know the plot, I'd recommend looking it up online. Anyway, but the film production of Five Nights at Freddy's, though, is a long and complicated process, as the film took 9 years in development, starting all the way back in 2015, when Warner Brothers came up to Scott Cawthon and asked him if he wanted to make a movie on Five Nights at Freddy's. They wrote a script and showed it to him. However, Scott was so pissed off with the script that he basically threw it back in their face and left them in 2017. Warner Brothers took the script for Five Nights at Freddy's and rewrote it into the Banana Splits movie, which was released in 2019. As of today, the original script for Five Nights at Freddy's by Warner Brothers has never been released to the public. So yeah, that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment, turn on notifications so you don't miss any of my future videos. I love you all so much, and bye.